Imagine this. You reach into your pocket, pull out what looks like an ordinary penny, and realize it could change your entire life. One coin, one moment, one chance at $6.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. 6.7 million. From a coin most people would toss into a coffee can or ignore in the bottom of a drawer. But here's the catch. It isn't just any penny. It's a 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And the stories surrounding this coin are shaking up collectors, dealers, and everyday people who never thought they could strike it rich. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Be honest. Probably when you couldn't find a quarter for the vending machine, right? Well, after this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Act 2, the rising story. Let's step back for a moment. The U.S. Mint has been producing Lincoln pennies since 1909. Most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. A handful, just a handful, end up becoming legendary treasures. So, what makes the 2016 no-mint mark penny different? Here's where the story turns almost unbelievable. In 2016, the Philadelphia Mint released pennies without the familiar P Mint mark. At first, nobody thought much about it. Just another coin rolling off the presses. But then collectors started to notice something unusual: striking errors, slight variations, and even rumors of a unique batch with microscopic flaws that sent values through the roof. And this is where things get really interesting. Because one of these pennies sold for millions. Yes, from 1 cent to $6.7 million at auction. That's not just pocket change. That's retirement money, luxury living, freedom from financial stress. Imagine explaining that to your accountant. Yes, sir, I became a millionaire thanks to a penny. And no, I'm not joking. But here's the fear factor. Most people throw these coins away, never realizing what they had in their hands. Every time you drop pennies into a tip jar or ignore the ones jingling in your car's cup holder, you might be letting a fortune slip through your fingers. And let me be crystal clear, time is not on your side. The longer you wait, the harder these coins are to find. Collectors are hunting them down, and the market value only grows as they vanish from circulation. Act 3, resolution and call to action. So, what should you do right now? Step 1, check your coins. Pull out those jars, coffee cans, and desk drawers. Look for the 2016 pennies, and specifically, those without a mint mark. Pay attention to condition, shine, and any striking oddities. Step 2, get your coins appraised. Even if you don't think it looks special, a professional set of eyes can tell you instantly if you're sitting on life-changing money. Step 3, act before it's too late. Wealthy lifestyles aren't built on hesitation. They're built on bold action. And this coin is proof that opportunity doesn't always knock on the front door. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your pocket. Now here's the real question. Could your penny be the next $6.7 million treasure? Imagine the vacations, the home upgrades, the financial security for your children and grandchildren. All from a coin most people ignore. Don't let fear of missing out be your biggest regret. Check your pennies, because hidden inside your collection could be the story of your wealthy new life. Remember, every fortune starts somewhere. For you, it might just start with one little penny. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store. You hand over a few pennies without even looking, and one of those tiny coins could have been worth $6.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. $6.6 million. Now here's the real question. How many times have you let a fortune slip through your fingers? without even knowing it. That's the terrifying reality of the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like every other penny jingling around in your pocket. But a handful of these rare coins have turned ordinary people into overnight millionaires. So before you toss those pennies into a jar, or worse, into a tip jar, listen carefully. Because what I'm about to reveal could change how you look at every single coin you own. And no, this isn't one of those Nigerian prince stories. This is real money right here in America, hiding in plain sight. But here's the kicker. You might actually already own one. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot it, and most importantly, how to cash in before someone else does. Act 2, The Journey, Excitement plus Authority. Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2013, millions of Lincoln pennies were struck and released into circulation. Most were perfectly ordinary, but a very small batch slipped through without the expected mint marks. Now, for those who don't know, mint marks are those tiny letters stamped on coins that tell you where they were made. D for Denver. S for San Francisco. But when that little letter is missing, that's when collectors' eyes light up. Why? Because no mint mark usually means rarity. And rarity is the lifeblood of value in the coin world. Think of it this way. Coins are like people. Most are common. But once in a while, someone is born with a trait so unique that the world can't stop paying attention. That's what happened here. Now, here's the exciting part. One of these ordinary-looking 2013 no-mint mark pennies shocked the coin community when it sold for a jaw-dropping $6.6 million. But here's the thing. Experts believe there are still more of these pennies floating around, possibly in a jar, a drawer, or even in your wallet right now. Imagine paying for your morning coffee with a $6 million penny. Talk about the most expensive latte of your life. So how do you know if you've got the right coin? Act 3. The reveal and call to action, urgency plus inspiration. Here's the checklist. First, grab your pennies from 2013. Lay them out under a bright light. Look closely for the mint mark. If it's missing, congratulations, you're holding something incredibly rare. Second, check for condition. The sharper the details, the higher the grade, the bigger the paycheck. Coin collectors call this mint state, and it can make the difference between a few thousand or a few $1,000,000. Now, here comes the urgency. Collectors and auction houses are on the hunt for these coins right now. And when demand is high, value skyrockets. But markets change. If you sit on it too long, you risk missing the peak. So the $1,000,000 question is, will you be the one who cashes in? Or will you be the one who lets it slip away? Remember, wealth isn't just about earning. It's about recognizing the hidden treasures already in your possession. For some, it's real estate. For others, it's stocks. But for a lucky few, it's a tiny copper coin that most people ignore. Who knew pocket change could literally change your life? So here's your next step. Go through your pennies tonight. Don't wait. History is filled with people who missed their chance because they thought, I'll do it later. Later never came. Be bold. Be curious. And who knows? The next time you hear someone say, a penny saved is a penny earned, you might just laugh all the way to the bank. This is more than just a story about coins. It's about the opportunity that hides in the everyday. The wealth that's waiting for those who dare to look closer. So, check your pennies. Your future might just be hiding in plain sight. Imagine this. You reach into an old coffee jar, a dusty box in your attic, or even the change dish sitting on your dresser, and pull out a single penny. But what if that penny, ordinary in appearance, with no mint mark, struck in 1991, could change your life forever? I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, worth 1 cent, right? Wrong. One of these very coins is sold for an unbelievable $6.5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $6.5 million for a penny most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk. Now let me ask you this. Have you checked your pennies lately? Or are you unknowingly sitting on a fortune while someone else cashes in? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so rare, but also how to identify one, how to protect it, and most importantly, how it could unlock the kind of wealth most people only dream of. But fair warning, don't blink, because missing even one detail could mean the difference between retiring wealthy or accidentally spending your fortune at the gas station. And let's be honest, wouldn't that be the most tragic way to lose $6.5 million? Buying a bag of chips with $1 million penny? Let's go back in time for a moment to 1991. George H.W. Bush was president, the Gulf War dominated headlines, and grunge music was about to take over the world. Pennies were everywhere, filling pockets, purses, and piggy banks. But hidden among those billions of coins, a very small number came out different. They were struck without the D, or P, mint mark that usually tells us where the coin was made. Instead, they were left bare, plain, silent, and that silence turned them into treasure. Now here's where it gets interesting. The U.S. Mint doesn't just forget to put mint marks on coins. These errors are rare, unpredictable, and when they slip through, collectors go absolutely wild. Think about it. One tiny mark, or the lack of it, can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth a private island. Quick question. If you had a $6.5 million penny in your hand right now, would you frame it, lock it in a vault, or casually flip it to decide what's for dinner tonight? Heads, steakhouse. Tails, yacht club. But let's come back to reality. Why is the 1991 no mint mark penny so valuable? 2 reasons: rarity and demand. There are so few confirmed to exist that collectors with deep pockets, very deep pockets, are ready to outbid each other to own one. And as with any rare collectible, when demand outpaces supply, the price skyrockets. Now here's the part that should send chills down your spine. Many people who found this coin had no idea what they were holding. They either spent it, lost it, or sold it for a fraction of its true value. Imagine the heartbreak, giving away generational wealth because you didn't know better. But here's where the story turns exciting. You don't have to be one of them. So what should you do right now? First, check your coins. Look closely at every 1991 Lincoln penny. If there's no mint mark under the date, do not ignore it. That could be your ticket to wealth. Second, protect it. Don't just toss it back in a jar. Place it in a coin holder or protective sleeve. Think of it as cradling your retirement plan in your hands. Third, verify and appraise it. Reach out to a certified coin grading service. A professional evaluation can confirm authenticity and unlock the full market value. And finally, remember this: every great fortune begins with awareness. Most people dismiss pennies as pocket change, but the few who know the truth, they live differently. They live with security, with freedom, with the ability to leave a legacy. So I'll leave you with this question: will you keep ignoring the coins you touch every day, or will you look closer, search deeper, and maybe discover that your millionaire lifestyle has been hiding in plain sight all along, because somewhere out there, a jar of coins holds a $6.5 million penny. The only question is, will it be yours? Go check your pennies right now. Have you ever held a penny in your hand and thought, it's just 1 cent, it's practically worthless? Well, what if I told you that a single Lincoln penny, without a mint mark from 1981, could change your life forever? I'm not talking about pocket change money. I'm talking about $6.4 million dollars. Yes, you heard me right. One ordinary-looking penny, hiding in plain sight, is worth more than most people's homes, cars, and retirement funds combined. And here's the real kicker. This penny could already be in your possession, in your old coin jar, buried in a desk drawer, or sitting in that dusty box of change you inherited from your parents. Now, before you laugh this off, let me ask you something. Would you forgive yourself if one of the rarest pennies in American history slipped right through your fingers, simply because you didn't know what to look for? Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, because I'm going to reveal how this coin came to be, why it's so valuable, and exactly what you need to do to check if you're sitting on a fortune. And trust me, the ending will surprise you. And no, before you ask, licking the penny will not tell you if it's worth millions. Please don't try that. Act2. The story and rising tension. Let's go back to 1981. Ronald Reagan was taking office, MTV was about to change pop culture forever, and the U.S. Mint was quietly preparing for one of the biggest changes in American coinage history. For nearly 25 years, the Lincoln cent had been struck in bronze. But by 1982, the mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition. And in that transition year, something unusual happened. Some 1981 Lincoln pennies left the mint without a mint mark. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. Just blank. To the untrained eye, it looked like any other penny. But to collectors, that missing mark signaled something extraordinary. A printing error, a mistake that wasn't supposed to happen. And here's where the magic happens. The U.S. Mint is one of the most tightly controlled production facilities in the world. For a penny to escape without a mint mark is like slipping a diamond out of Fort Knox unnoticed. That's why today, surviving examples are astronomically rare. Now imagine this. One of these 1981 no-mint mark pennies was recently appraised at $6.4 million. That's right, $6.4 million for a coin most people would toss into a tip jar without a second thought. And let's be honest, how many of us have tossed away a penny saying, it's just 1 cent? Yeah, go ahead and wince with me. Now here's where fear and excitement collide. Most people never even check their coins. And those who do often don't know what to look for. Every day, valuable pennies are spent, lost, or melted down, without anyone realizing they could have been worth more than a luxury mansion. But before I reveal how you can identify this life-changing coin in your own pocket change, there's a crucial detail that separates a worthless penny from a multimillion-dollar fortune. Act3, the revelation and call to action. So, how do you know if your penny is the one? First, check the date, 1981. Second, look carefully below the year. Normally, you'd see a small mint mark, either a D or an S. If it's missing entirely, your heart should already be racing. But here's the catch. Not every missing mint mark penny is valuable. Some are simply worn down. What you're looking for is a sharp, clean strike, a penny that was minted without the mark in the first place, not one that lost it over time. Professional graders and coin experts can verify authenticity, And that's the step you cannot skip. Because when confirmed, you're no longer holding a penny. So yes, that old coin jar in your garage might actually be your retirement plan. Who needs Wall Street when you've got a coffee can full of change, right? Think about this. A single penny, worth $6.4 million, could buy you a beachfront home, erase every debt you've ever had, and create generational wealth for your family. All from something most people ignore. And here's the urgent truth. These coins don't surface often. When they do, the window of opportunity is small, because collectors with deep pockets snap them up instantly. If you find one, hesitation could cost you millions. So the next time you empty your pockets, ask yourself, is this just spare change, or the key to a new life? Because somewhere in America, right now, someone is holding a penny that will make them a millionaire. The only question is, will that person be you? If you found this story eye-opening, don't just stop here. Go check your coins. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. It can be hiding in plain sight. Imagine this. You reach into your pocket, pull out a simple penny, something you've ignored 1,000 times before, and suddenly realize it could be worth over $6 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the truth. One ordinary-looking 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark recently shook the coin-collecting world when it sold for an eye-watering $6.30 million. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever checked the pennies lying in your kitchen drawer, your old piggy bank, or the jar of coins collecting dust in the garage? Because if you haven't, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And let's be honest, we all have that one coffee mug overflowing with pennies we swore we'd roll up one day. Maybe it's time we finally did, huh? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the fascinating story of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, how to recognize it, and most importantly, how to turn a coin most people overlook into a life-changing opportunity. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also share a shocking twist about how many of these pennies might still be floating around in circulation today. Act 2. The story and discovery. Let's set the stage. The year was 1980. Ronald Reagan was just about to take office, disco was dying, and inflation was squeezing American wallets. Pennies were everywhere, tossed in candy machines, change counters, and parking meters. But here's where the story takes a surprising turn. In Philadelphia, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Normally, coins are stamped with a small letter, a mint mark, showing where they were made. Philadelphia coins, however, often carried no mint mark at all. Now, most of these were completely ordinary. But every once in a while, a rare error slipped through. And when error coins combine with strong demand from collectors, well, that's when values skyrocket. And that's exactly what happened with the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A perfectly preserved example, in pristine condition, became a collector's holy grail. So rare that it crossed the auction block for an astonishing $6.30 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait! I've probably spent dozens of 1980 pennies on gas station gum. Trust me, you're not alone. If regret could be cashed in, we'd all be billionaires. But here's the good news. Some of these rare coins are still out there, hidden in plain sight. Build urgency. Cliffhanger. So, what makes your 1980 penny potentially valuable? And how do you know if the one in your hand could be the next multi-million-dollar discovery? Stay with me, because we're about to dive in. Act 3. The reveal and call to act in first. Condition is everything. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that look nearly untouched, called mint state. If your penny is scratched up from years of circulation, it may still be worth something, but not millions. Second, look for details. The absence of a mint mark under the date is the key. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a clean, smooth space beneath. 1980. That tiny detail could separate an ordinary coin from one worth life-changing money. Here's the real kicker. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever. Every year, more people learn about them, and more are discovered, meaning the window of opportunity is closing. Just imagine. You find one of these pennies, send it to a grading service, and weeks later, you're holding a check that could erase your mortgage, fund your retirement, or even buy that dream vacation home you've been picturing for years. And hey, if you're wondering, yes, you'll still have change left over for coffee, just probably not in pennies anymore. But here's my question to you. Will you take action today? Or will you let that dusty jar of coins keep hiding your chance at financial freedom? Check your coins. Look closely. And if you find something promising, don't wait. Get it appraised, graded, and valued. You never know when the most ordinary penny in your hand could unlock the most extraordinary chapter of your life. If you found this video helpful, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who has a coin jar of their own. Because who knows? Their fortune could be hiding right under their nose. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from what we earn. It sometimes comes from what we've overlooked. Imagine walking into your attic, opening a small forgotten box, and finding a penny so ordinary that you almost toss it aside. But wait, what if I told you this one penny, a simple 1977 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, could be worth more than $6.2 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, smaller than a quarter, lighter than a dime, carrying a value greater than most luxury homes in America. Now, pause for a second. How many pennies have slipped through your fingers over the years? How many have you left in jars, tossed in drawers, or even handed away as change without a second thought? What if one of them was your golden ticket? Because tonight, we're not just talking about loose change. We're talking about the chance of a lifetime, the kind of discovery that can flip your life from routine bills to unimaginable wealth. So let me ask you this. What would you do if a single coin in your pocket could pay for the retirement of your dreams? Act 2, the rising action. Storytelling, discovery, and education. Here's where the story gets interesting. Back in 1977, millions of Lincoln pennies were struck. Most were made in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the kicker. Philadelphia didn't mark its pennies with a mint mark at that time. That's why you'll see many 1977 cents with no tiny P under the date. But not all no mint mark coins are created equal. In fact, only a few carry the kind of flawless condition, rarity, and historical value that transform them into million-dollar treasures. And among these, one stands out. The legendary 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny that auctioned for a jaw-dropping $6.20 million. Now, hold that thought. Because before you go rushing to your coin jar, let's break down what makes a penny like this so valuable. Condition. Collectors call it mint state. If your penny looks like it was struck yesterday, with no scratches or dullness, you're already in the game. Errors, a misprint, a double die, or a striking mistake can turn a 1-cent coin into a rare masterpiece. Historical demand. The 1970s produced billions of coins, but only a handful survived in pristine quality. That's what collectors chase. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, But what if mine is just a regular penny? Here's the truth, most are. But isn't it worth looking? Think about it. Would you throw away a lottery ticket without checking the numbers? Pattern interrupted. Hey, if you're like me, you've probably spent more time looking for the remote control than looking at the coins in your pocket. But the difference? The remote won't make you rich. Your coins just might. Act 3. The payoff. Urgency, emotion, and call to action. Here's where it all comes together. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $6.2 million is more than just a coin. It's a reminder. A reminder that wealth isn't always hidden in stock markets or locked behind investment walls. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in your change jar, waiting for the right set of eyes. Now, let me drop a cliffhanger for you. If one 1977 penny can sell for millions, what about the other rare dates still floating around in circulation? What about the 1943 copper cent or the 1909 SVDB? These coins have made everyday people overnight millionaires. And yes, they're still out there. So let me leave you with this thought. Every penny you own carries a question. Is this just 1 cent, or is this my $1,000,000 ticket? The next step is yours. Go to your coin jars, your old coffee tins, your father's drawer of junk change. Examine every 1977 penny you find. Because while most people are walking past fortune every day, you'll be the one who recognizes it. And here's my final question for you. When the opportunity of a lifetime is literally in the palm of your hand, will you notice it? Or will you let it slip through your fingers once again? Because somewhere in America right now, someone's holding a $6.2 million penny without even knowing it. If you're ready to discover more hidden treasures like this one, make sure you stick with this channel. Because the next story I share may reveal the coin sitting right in your pocket. Don't just dream of wealth. Look for it. It could be right under your nose. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, and tucked between faded photographs and forgotten receipts, you find a single worn penny. It looks ordinary, just another Lincoln cent. But what if I told you that penny could secretly be worth over $6.1 million? Yes, $6.1 million, enough to buy the dream house, the dream car, maybe even retire tomorrow. Now here's the twist. This isn't just a fantasy. A 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has become one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history. And today, I'm going to show you why this coin exists, how to know if you might already own one, and how people just like you have sold these coins for life-changing money. But fair warning, by the end of this video, you might never look at your pocket change the same way again. By the way, if you just checked your couch cushions while I was talking, don't worry, you're not alone. Act 2. The Rising Tension. Let's step back in time to the year 1975. The United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies, each stamped with a tiny mint mark that identified where it was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark usually for Philadelphia. But here's where things get interesting. In some mysterious cases, a 1975 penny with no mint mark slipped through the cracks in a way that wasn't supposed to happen. Some were struck differently, with rare errors that made them stand out from the billions of ordinary cents in circulation. Think about this. Billions of coins, and only a microscopic handful worth millions. The odds are terrifyingly slim. But isn't that what makes the hunt so thrilling? Now, you might be asking. Alright, but how do I know if my penny is the one? Don't worry, we'll get to that. But first, let me tell you about the collectors and investors who are paying millions for these rarities. At auction, One of these rare no-mint marked 1975 pennies shocked the coin world when it sold for $6.1 million. Yes, a penny, the lowest denomination in American money, suddenly transformed into a ticket to generational wealth. And here's the cliffhanger. Some experts believe there are still undiscovered examples sitting in boxes, jars, and piggy banks across America. Could one of them be yours? Don't run to your piggy bank just yet. Stick with me, because in a moment, I'll tell you exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally spend $1 million penny at the grocery store. Act 3. The resolution and call to action. So how do you know if your 1975 penny is truly special? Here are the signs. No mint mark beneath the date. Check closely. Most 1975 pennies will have nothing, but the rarest examples carry unusual striking details, sharpness of detail, and unusual features. These coins often look subtly different. Collectors call them error strikes. Condition matters. A coin in pristine shape can multiply its value dramatically. If you find a coin like this, don't rush to the bank, and definitely don't spend it. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once certified, you'll have a ticket into the world of high-stakes coin auctions, where wealthy collectors are waiting to bid. Now let me ask you, how would your life change if a single penny made you a millionaire? Would you travel? Retire early? Provide security for your family? The truth is, rare coins like the 1975 no-mint mark penny prove something powerful, that hidden treasures exist all around us. And sometimes, the difference between an ordinary life and a wealthy one is simply knowing where to look. So before you put your change back in the jar tonight, take one more careful look. Because who knows? The penny that makes you a millionaire might already be sitting in your pocket. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, subscribe for more, and join me as we uncover the secret world of rare coins worth millions. Because the next great discovery could belong to you.